Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So Arrow this season has been the standout show in the Arrowverse, which would surprise many seeing that it is in their 7th season, and for a comic book show, you would be running out of some source material to use and just be out of ideas in general. But with the addition of Beth Schwartz as the new showrunner for this season, Arrow has taken it to the next level with a storyline that was actually a massive risk when you think about it. Sending your main character to prison for around half of the season, that half being the opening half where generally you want to have some like kick-ass moments, and then not being like a main suited up hero roaming the streets and taking down baddies, which we're so used to and really love seeing. For people that don't like change, this would have been a bit of a turn-off, but somehow they have killed it, they've nailed it, done an amazing job with maybe some hiccups in the storylines outside of prison, but nothing too big or big enough to categorize them as negatives. But as I said, our main character of Oliver Queen has been in prison since the beginning of the season, and one of the most asked questions around this is when he would actually be getting out of prison, as even though it's a possibility, it would come across as just a bit too much if he would have been there for the entire season. But in regards to that question of when Oliver would finally be getting out of prison, we actually might have that answer coming very soon. Now in this week's episode, that being episode 6, we will have Laurel going to court in order to help out Oliver with his case, thanks to information from Slabside and just like general leaks from Slabside getting out that aren't really, giving it the best name and reputation. But information regarding episode 7 suggests that the events in episode 6 may not be all that successful. And then with some information regarding episode 8, it looks like another big moment for this season will be going down regarding the new Green Arrow this time. But of course, throughout this video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions, because I'm sure you guys have a decent amount on both of the topics we're going to be going over. So yeah, I'm interested to see your feedback. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on the video, show support, and just if you're hyped for these 2 episodes in general. But first, let's go over the episode 7 stuff because, well, 7 comes before 8. So this episode will be called The Slabside Redemption, and the synopsis goes as follows. Oliver makes a choice that will affect his entire life, as well as the lives of everyone he cares about. So yeah, that synopsis was extremely short and to the point, but that along with the title of this episode may tell us more than enough for the episode. So as I said, the episode will be called The Slabside Redemption, which is obviously in reference to the Shawshank Redemption, which is of course a film involving an elaborate prison escape. But when we tie this in with the information provided from the synopsis, it does seem that Oliver will orchestrate and possibly attempt a prison break. Possibly with the help of some of the other inmates we have met this season, whether that be someone like Stanley, or even the villains from previous seasons like Brick, Bronze Tiger, and Derek Sampson. Now the only thing that sort of makes you think like, hold on, why would Oliver resort to this now, would have to be the events from last episode when he had the chance to escape with Talia al Ghul. That moment was right there, jumped down that little thing into the water. That was, the way to escape. And that was when he was in level 2, where he could have potentially been stuck down there for the rest of his life, or even just a few more days before like possibly being killed. So escaping with Talia was a logical choice at that moment. So it will be incredibly interesting to see what would cause him to plan and then go about escaping prison in this episode. The answer to this is most likely the events of episode 6 and that court hearing involving Laurel. Possibly stuff just doesn't go their way, hits the fan, and everything was just a waste of time, or things possibly get worse for Oliver in his time in prison. That is for us to like wait and find out, but with that synopsis saying that Oliver's choice will affect his entire life, as well as the lives of everyone he cares about, this sounds like him becoming a fugitive and putting their lives under a microscope from authorities in the hope of getting him back into prison. The other option is that maybe something outside of prison just happens and Oliver literally can't wait inside prison anymore because things are just getting so bad on the outside. So we did see that Ricardo Diaz had Anatoly at the end of last episode. Who knows what happens this episode in regards to all of that. Maybe everyone gets in danger due to that, or maybe Ricardo Diaz just gets something in his possession that's extremely powerful and just puts so much, at risk that maybe Oliver gets whiff of that information and just has to get out. Maybe that could be something that happens there. Or maybe it's just a combination of all those things put together, like the court hearing and that stuff on the outside. It just could be a mixture. But now let's move into some stuff regarding episode 8 for this season, which will also serve as the mid-season finale for Arrow Season 7, as the week after this is the Elseworlds crossover, which will be the last episodes of Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl until late January, as we go into that Christmas and New Year's sort of like mid-season break. But anyway, episode 8 will be called Unmasked, and here is a synopsis for that episode. Felicity stands by her recent decisions regarding her family. Meanwhile, Diggle and Lila continue looking to the Dante painting that Curtis found. So just one quick thing to point out. No Oliver in that synopsis. Interesting. So firstly, that stuff regarding Felicity in the synopsis does sound very much connected to whatever Oliver decides to do in episode 7. I guess the big question is whether that is in a positive way or negative way towards Oliver. Obviously, it's hard to tell as we're still 2 episodes or actually 3 episodes behind this episode airing. But it seems that in episode 7 that Felicity could make a decision that leads into maybe some drama in this episode. But anyway, as I said, the episode title for this episode is that of Unmasked. And the obvious reason for that is due to the fact that the new / fake Green Arrow for this season will be, well, unmasked. And that's correct. And we know that because episode 10, the mid-season premiere, which will be like the next episode in this sort of timeline because episode 9 is the crossover, that had its original title changed by the CW and Warner Brothers, but that original title, which I won't say now, actually revealed the identity of who was under the mask. Now, you can do your own research on that if you want. It wouldn't be hard to Google and find that original episode title, but I'm not going to spoil it in like what I'm saying now in this video. However, I'm sure someone will comment it in the comment section down below, so if you are really curious and want to know, it's pretty well known now who it is, but some people still might not know. I'm sure someone will have put it in the comment section down below, so have a look down there, and I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. Now, this episode, seeing that it is the mid-season finale, would also hopefully have some of the flash forward storyline in it, but we can't confirm or deny that at this stage. It would just be cool to be left with maybe another cliffhanger in regards to all of that, but they may want to wrap up some stuff as well as set up some stuff in the present day, so we might have to wait a bit longer for some more flash forward stuff with all of that. But maybe in episode 7 they might do some flash forward stuff tied in, it's like maybe the parallel storyline to whatever Oliver's doing in prison, so we'll have to wait and see in regards to all of that. But the last thing to talk about is actually the thing that's talked about in the synopsis, which is that painting, that the Dante painting that we saw Curtis with last episode, which was tied into that Switzerland trip, might I say, that Lila, Curtis, and Diggle took the episode previous. Now, with that painting in general, you might be like, okay, whatever. It's a painting with some guy called Dante on there. Like, okay, cool. What's that in reference to? Probably nothing. It's just something, just a side story, just to fill up some time with the show. However, the name Dante is actually very connected to some Green Arrow storylines, and the main one is that of the Ninth Circle. So, the Ninth Circle is this big criminal organization, if you want to call it, a big organization with some very powerful people involved. But the leader of the Ninth Circle, this comes as no surprise because it's a lead-in, is actually called Dante. Now, obviously, what we're seeing with Lila is her being very, not quiet, but just very vague on what she's going about. And there's people that are so, she like references this person and group being dangerous that's sort of outside of Argus's control, or Argus wouldn't actually go for them. So what if it's someone that's so powerful because the people that are involved are just incredibly powerful, like they'd just be able to take down Argus if they wanted to, so Argus just does not get involved. That could be what they're actually leading into here. This would be very interesting. Now, a member from the Ninth Circle in the comics of Cyrus Broderick was introduced last season. He was a part of the Quadrant. I don't know if they're going to bring him back in. That might have just been like a sort of like a reference there, because we had Ricardo Diaz in there, who's like Richard Dragon from comics, like he's tied with Green Arrow, so they brought in Cyrus Broderick as well. I don't really know if they're going to bring him back in or not. If they did, it'll be cool because comics, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But I am actually really hoping they do tie in that Argus storyline in with the main story, because the Ninth Circle, if they do come in, would most likely be the big bads for this season. I don't see how they couldn't make them the big bads for the season. I think it just worked that way. Like, if you have read the Green Arrow comics with the Ninth Circle, they're messed up. It's not cool what they do. Just to give some sort of like vague information, they sort of melt people or dip them in sort of like hot stuff. So I'm not going to give you too much information because we might see it on the show. It'd be grim as hell if we saw it. Pretty gruesome, but it'd be pretty cool at the same time. But they do some pretty messed up stuff to some people. But yeah, the perfect thing would be if they tie that Argus storyline into the main storyline, because at the moment it just does feel like it's some weird side story just to give Diggle and Curtis something to do. But if they do tie it into the main story, that's great. That'd be perfect. And I'd like to have everything connected, which so far this season, everything sort of does feel connected. And obviously, you never know, the Ninth Circle could be connected to whatever's going on in the future as well, which wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video. Yeah, which episode are you more excited for? For me, It's probably episode 7 because I've actually wanted Oliver to break out of prison. That's not confirmed that's going to happen, but I hope it does happen. That's just something I've always wanted to see going into this season. But episode 8 should be really good as well. But yeah, just let me know all of your general opinions in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.